remember to enjoy it. It's just to kind of put the brand out there in a different sense to really corporate.
Yeah.
Like everything you see from Mercedes-Benz is just corporate, and we just want to calm it down a little bit and relate to more people.
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Automotive Business Show. My name is Mackenzie and I'm joined today by 2-star experts from Mercedes-Benz of Brooklands, Matt closer to the camera and then Danny next to me. I'll let you guys, I guess, introduce yourself to start us off. So Danny, maybe start with you, ladies first.
Yeah, of course. My name's Danny. I've been a star expert for coming up to 3 years. I've been working at Mercedes-Benz Brooklands for 6, so I know the brand and the product really well. And yeah, anything else you want me to say?
No, that's good. We've obviously worked together a little bit in the past as well, so again, thank you, I guess, for coming on today. It's good to have you both on, have a little chat about, how it all works for you and marketing particularly. I want to talk about, but the whole industry. And Matt?
Yeah. So Matt, obviously, and been a star expert for 4.5 years. Worked for Mercedes-Benz coming up to sort of 9 years, I would say, but been a sort of part of furniture really when it comes to Mercedes-Benz as well. I started in the cafe, moved to the track as a host, customer service background, and now star expert, so much more centred around the vehicles and our products and services. So yeah, massively enjoy it. You
could answer almost any phone in the building and know what's going on.
Yeah, probably. Like one-man band. Right?
I'll transfer you through now, then run across. Cool. Okay. So one of the reasons I was really excited to talk to you guys about this is, as you know, we're involved in marketing and we're a marketing agency, and some people now in the automotive industry are starting to run social pages. Some people are getting quite a lot of results with it. I know some sales execs do it, and of course you have your Instagram account that you kind of joint manage for the site. Do you want to plug it? What is it? Tell everyone the at symbol.
At Star Expert.
At Star Expert, nice and easy. I can remember it's not an underscore or anything like that, is there?
No.
There you go, at Star Expert. So you got in there early with the Star Expert title.
Yeah, we poached it.
Yeah.
Poached it straight away. Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know, Star Expert is a role that runs across the UK for Mercedes-Benz. So you guys jumped in there and got that Instagram nice and early, which is cool.
That's it.
But yeah, so it's really good to chat about that. And I mean, how does that work for you both? Like, again, I guess we'll start ladies first again, but we'll obviously just jump in whenever. Sure. Yeah, how does it work? What do you use it for? What works best? What doesn't work?
We use it mostly just for advertising the cars more than anything. So it's not really about making profit for us or about Mercedes-Benz World. It's all about Brooklands, and what we want to show is the cars and how good they are and how good they look. And obviously we do try and get customers off the back of it, which we have done, including service customers, and also with our events and stuff, we get them all come in, don't we?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
But it's more around the brand than anything else than trying to draw in customers.
Yeah, it's really sort of to create a buzz. Just as soon as there's an announcement on a new product or kind of a new technology, we're sort of first to jump on that, spread the word as quick as possible to our outreach. We've been lucky enough to kind of sort of introduce the page to people that are coming into our dealership that have got some pedigree themselves on Instagram, and that sort of helps network, which has been really successful actually.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. So what other stories have you got around that? Because that's actually a really good idea. It's almost like influencer marketing in a way. So you partner up with people, or
that's it. Yeah,
so
yeah.
Rockens now, isn't he? Absolutely. Raz comes in and tags us when we were we've calmed down a little bit as much now. We're not as on it all the time. But when we first started, he used to tag us in everything, didn't he?
Yeah.
Which was really good, because then we had followers off the back of him, and then as soon as he liked one of our posts went flying through the roof, didn't they?
Yeah, he's got a huge following. Sort of in inverted commas, he's Mr. AMG, so he's spends a lot of his wealth on AMG products, and it helps us. So he'll come in, and he deals with one of our sales executives, Joe Lopez, who's an AMG specialist. So he gets looked after by us, and in return, we sort of look after him to sort of help his sort of outreach as well. Tag him in, he'll tag us in, and it's that sort of thing really. There's been a couple of sort of YouTubers that have come in for filming as well, where we've got those sort of have a car for say 24 hours or 48 hours or so, just do a little blog on their feedback of the car, how they got on with it. So it's really good. Car Talks was one, yeah. So, and he's quite a local guy to us as well. So people.
So is that something you tend to try and arrange, like you look to do?
Yeah, and our marketing team helps with some of that as well. Aviva Harwood helped out with that. But yeah, we've sort of...
We have quite strict guidelines with it, don't we? So we have to always make sure the marketing department agree with everything and have everything signed off before they can post anything.
Okay, that is one of my questions. Is like, what sort of guidelines do you have to follow? Because of course, it's hard to get more corporate than Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah.
Having worked for them a lot myself.
Extremely hard. Well, at first they were telling us that we couldn't use any emojis or anything like that because they wanted it to be really corporate. But they're starting to loosen up on us a little bit because we're not trying to sell the brand to anyone. We're just trying to keep it flowing and actually get people, like, I don't know, like to enjoy it. It's just to kind of put the brand out there in a different sense to really corporate.
Yeah.
Like everything you see from Mercedes-Benz is just corporate, and we just want to calm it down a little bit and relate to more people.
Yeah,
don't we?
That's it.
So they have
like
been
that.
a little bit more like cooler with us.
Definitely. Like there's like little tools on Instagram we use, for example, as well. You can sort of stamp your location. So again, you're just making people aware of where you are. So as soon as you sort of hashtag MB World, Mercedes-Benz World, that kind of has its own gravitas, and then people look our way. So yeah, it works.
Yeah, I really like that kind of theme about being relatable in terms of your content. And I think you've already said it, but it's not sales, it's not advertising directly, it's just, I think you said it as well, I think maybe we'll do that a bit more about the type of content, but news articles was one that you said just now, that can work quite well, can't it? I mean, we always kind of find that with our clients, news, events, what's going on. So if news is one thing, what other stuff would you say typically works as a post, or you aim to try and post or create?
When we get new cars as well.
Yeah.
So absolutely. As soon as we get, especially AMGs for Instagram, it just skyrockets, doesn't it? I think AMG is the brand is completely different, and people are excited about it. Yeah. And as soon as we get an AMG and we take photos of it, or we have a little story of the revving the engine, it goes mad. Yeah, definitely. Which is mental.
Yeah, for sure. Like new products. I think seasonal events as well. So like throughout the year, obviously, you have your Halloween, you have your sort of Christmas events, and they're always quite good because you can sort of theme those. Use those tools again to theme up the showroom as well. So the guys were always quite keen on decorating the showroom. Maybe we had we had a GLC with like loads of cobwebs around it and spiders. So that got a bit of traction online.
And competitions too, which is good. Yeah. So we engage with customers, and that all goes through Mercedes-Benz retail group. So we just then advertise it for Brooklands because it's fun getting people like active with us as well.
Yeah, definitely.
We're only there to have a bit of fun, and so is everyone else on our page. Hopefully, it's not too serious. It's just letting the cars be.
And that's what social media is, really, isn't it? And I think that's why so many people go so wrong with it. And it's another reason why I thought it'd be good to talk to you, because you can tell it's more of that, and less serious stuff. So that is cool. So I guess just to go back slightly, just to find out a bit more. So when you had to kind of deal with the marketing team, a lot of people be in this position, I guess, working for different groups, particularly in the automotive industry. If they're a franchise, it won't always be Mercedes-Benz directly, but there will be a marketing department, probably of some sort. What can you sort of say to people maybe to help them get that sign off, or I guess sell the benefits of social media to them?
Well, firstly, ask them before you do anything to set it up. We had to beg for over a year, I think, to actually get an Instagram account. And then our previous manager thought it'd be a great idea for Brooklands.
Did you just not shut up until you got what you wanted?
Pretty much. Pretty much. It normally works like that. In fact, Ian
like
came
I've known Danny for years.
Ian turned around before I left. He was like, "You're so gammy." Is it Gabby?
Jammy.
Because he was like, "You always just get what you want to do, or what you want, you get it." I was like, "Yeah, I just pester people until they say yeah."
That's it. Well, actually, Dad, I remember when we recruited Danny, because my colleague Joe and I have started out as Star Experts, but we never really got to grips with social media really well. But Danny, when she came in and helped us out, we kind of realised very quickly that Danny was very au fait with how to use social media and get the best out of it and get the attention. So we basically, like, part of the recruitment was Danny was going to come in. Danny came in to be our social media sort of expert as well as product. So it was
true,
all.
actually, I forgot about
that. Yeah, it was all like.
That's the only reason I got the job.
There wasn't the only reason, but it was definitely a part, because we wanted to. We knew that there was an opportunity there that we were missing out on, and we didn't quite have the right know-how with me and Joe. Joe's a bit older than me. And
I mean, he's not here, so you can say what you like now.
We can throw him under the bus now. So Joe's old. No.
Joe's old.
He's slightly older. He's slightly older, to be fair. You don't look it, but he's slightly older.
Do you want a shovel?
I don't know. I'll do it for you.
Oh, shut up. That's it. I'm done on that subject.
Going back to the question, I just say make sure they're okay with it first, and for the first couple of posts, everyone's going to judge what you're saying and what you're doing. So run it through them before you post them, because we did a couple and it got backfired at us straight away, saying you can't post this, you can't do that, it's not corporate. And it's just the way people read things. So things on social media they are read differently by everybody, and you have to be really careful with what you say. And it's just maybe talk to your marketing team, make sure they're happy with what you're doing, and then they let you have a bit more leeway. And like we then could start using emojis, and we could start commenting on people's pictures with emojis, which we wasn't allowed to do before. So it's a small movement, but it helps a lot engage with customers.
So I guess you find a starting point and then sort of work forward from that.
Yeah, you need to make sure it hits with those guidelines, and if not, they will close it down very quickly. Yeah,
but I think actually, even for perhaps people that are on a smaller scale, creating a set of guidelines, even if you're not having them imposed on you, you know, is always good.
Definitely.
To just make sure, you don't go too far one way or the other or get something wrong, but.
Because we have a couple of times where we've gone, maybe we shouldn't have posted that, or we shouldn't post this. So we think
it's a really handy point or statement to come up with or say or talk about, I guess. So I mean, how did that go about? I mean, not necessarily specifics of what you posted, but I don't know, how did that impact you guys?
Well, actually, it wasn't what we posted, the first one. It's what somebody posted in the building.
Right.
And it was of a customer's car. Obviously, we can't take pictures of customers' cars without their consent.
Yeah.
And it wasn't us, but it was somebody in the building, and a massive email came out.
Yeah.
So because of that, they tightened down on us quite a lot. Yeah. And we always get written consent anyway if we take pictures of customers' cars. We speak to customers every day, so we kind of build a rapport with them. But it came across that someone's taken a picture of a customer's car and they've seen it on an Instagram page. So it kind of flagged up massively on Instagram, and it had something like 200,000 likes or something ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember that. And I think the issue was to do with like the license plate was exposed. So now any kind of pictures that we're tagging or anything we're taking rather, is sort of license plate covered. Those sort of things. There is sort of like a little
definitely license
sort of
plates covered.
Maybe like say guidelines or a set sort of rule book really, not to kind of like over embellish things. Just sort of what you see is there. Not rely too much on kind of false information or but just being respectful that at the end of the day someone is potentially going to own this car or does currently own this car, so that's definitely key.
Yeah, you have to be really careful unless it's demonstrators, which we know we're going to have for a while. So most of our AMGs we keep for over 6 months, so we can show their registrations because we have evidence of owning the vehicle at that period of time, but we're not allowed to have them really moving images because obviously they're AMGs, you're supposed to wear them in correctly and you're supposed to do the right things, which we do. But for instance, if someone saw us revving the engine or driving really fast in a video, it might be like, that's my car and they drove it like this. So you just have to think of the wider scheme of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's really good advice, especially about not just jumping straight into it. Sometimes probably is better to ask for permission.
Yeah, no, it is.
Sometimes it's better to ask for forgiveness after.
And thanks for it a few times.
Yeah, exactly.
There was one time we had a Premier League footballer come and collect his car recently, did the handover for that, and again it was just politely asking. I knew he had big outreach, and we said before the handover, there's an opportunity to get some eyes on Brooklyn. So we asked him, and we didn't put it as a sort of a tiled post, but we put it as a story. Yeah. So it was kind of like it would appear and sort of pop up and pop down. It wasn't too OTT. So yeah.
No, I think that's all really good actually. It's really helpful for people as well. People watching and sort of considering that, going down that road. So you've kind of done it a little bit already, but I guess what type of content do you find works best? So you sort of mentioned about videos revving the engine, or sometimes have worked in the past, but so like, is it all picture based? Is it video based?
Mostly picture based, isn't it?
Mostly pictures.
Because we don't.
Which is really interesting compared to trends at the moment.
Really, like video, because if we post a story, like videos do get a lot of reaction, but with videos for us, when we have to be really careful with guidelines for videos.
Yeah.
So it's either a walk around the vehicle and we're talking about it, or showing someone how to connect a phone. But then people who don't need it skip through it. So you have to. It's a certain audience that want to watch the videos, unless it's driving the car really fast.
Yeah, definitely.
Really.
Definitely. Yeah.
So for us, instead of us doing short bursts of videos, which people might not be interested in, we've just stuck it with pictures.
Yeah.
And we have a couple on our story, but apart from that, it's mainly pictures.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alongside that, there's tags as well. So
Yeah.
putting a picture, your hashtag in, that sort of thing as well. So hashtagging kind of those sort of buzzwords. I don't like that term, but for wanting a better phrase, buzzwords where if it's automotive or if it's your hashtag supercar or AMG, and all those sort of AMG enthusiasts can just look at what you're
Instagram.
posting. Yeah, absolutely. There's another one,
Yeah, that's always a big one. I've used that one before. It's really interesting how the algorithms work and how much it changes sometimes, because sometimes I use those hashtags and it will work really well, and then other days it's like a quarter of the result at the moment. But that's partly where Instagram's just becoming so overpopulated.
They've changed it all around as well, haven't they? So if you don't post and someone doesn't see your post, you don't actually come up in their timeline unless they search for you.
Yeah.
Which is
I'm
so
sure that
strange.
I've been unfollowed people as well on my Instagram, but I'm not sure if that's just my imagination. But I'm sure I was following them, and I have to refollow them. But the biggest influence over whether something gets shown to your followers or not is how many comments it gets. So if it gets shown to people, then gets commented on, and then gets shown to more people, and then still gets commented on more. That's how they kind of put it through the different tiers of how much it opens up to people. But hashtags are.
Can you always comment on my post, please?
Yeah, loads of bot accounts are going to get made.
I've been doing that all the time now. Just commenting on
Well, I mean,
How not to?
you will see now on my personal post quite often, like InGear Media, InGear Motorsport, and like I'll comment on stuff from each account because it all helps.
Yeah.
It's like a good way to sort of starting it. But yeah, there's of course loads of ways to do it. Cool. All right. Well, I guess moving away from that, then obviously there's so many exciting things to talk about in the automotive industry. I thought we'd pick a couple. So we actually spoke about autonomous cars a little bit recently when we were all together. But yeah, I guess maybe a little bit about autonomous cars, because that's a big thing in terms of technology and cars coming together. What do you think about it? Do you like the idea of it?
I love the idea of it. I think it's wicked. I don't think you do.
We've got slightly
We're
different
opposite.
opinions. We're slightly different opinions on this. But
that's good.
I'll let you go first and Jay.
We'll have like for and against, and then everyone can vote.
I know I'm losing this. But
No,
She always gets what she wants. So.
Yeah, careful.
Jamming this one.
No, I just think it's great. I think it's the future. I know it sounds really scary that you're going to get into a car that can drive itself, but we've got all of these systems in place now. So we have like active brake assist where it will brake for you, or we've got active lane assist where it will move you back in the lane, and things which people have on their everyday cars, which makes sense to then go autonomous completely and let it take control. It's just the small steps building up.
So it's already happening.
It is already happening.
Your car's already becoming
whether
autonomous.
you like it or not. It's already happening.
I think that's great. I think that's really good, and there are some technologies which I think a lot of people are prepared to embrace, and if it ultimately is going to help safety, that's the key. But I do think when those lines are blurred between safety and, okay, is this now affecting my driving pleasure, that is where I think the line shouldn't be crossed, because I enjoy driving and I always have, and I think it just helps your concentration levels in the morning. You're setting off for work and having something to focus on driving, it gears you up for the day a little bit.
I agree. I do like driving, to be fair.
So it's just it's that more driving pleasure, and I wouldn't want anything to kind of sort of hinder that or kind of sort of take anything away from that. But
maybe you can do both.
Yeah.
One way you can take control every now and then.
Yeah, if you want to drive to work, you drive to work. If you don't want to, you don't have to.
Watch a film.
Yeah.
I suppose.
If the traffic's bad.
Yeah. Having the choice is good, actually.
It'd be good if there's like the car sharing program.
Yeah.
Because then you just jump in the car, you don't have to think about it. You just jump in, do your work, carry on, and jump back out again, like a taxi.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I guess if it's your car, it's slightly different.
Yeah.
But if it's basically like an Uber, but they will just drive themselves around in circles.
Yeah, no.
Then you can just sit in the back of the Uber.
That happens on the map on Uber sometimes, doesn't it? You follow the driver. It's like,
going around like this.
Are you sure?
I've arrived. It says you're in a lake.
bring my swimsuits though.
But that is a good point. It autonomous car isn't really that far away from just jumping in a cab with a complete stranger that you don't know.
Yeah.
They might not even be sober for all you know.
I prefer to have a robot driving me personally.
Yeah.
But the liking to drive part is definitely, I think, a good argument for and against. I think it's a little way off still anyway.
Yeah, probably.
Fully autonomous is anyway.
Yeah.
But I know there's like, again, with Mercedes-Benz, that of course we know that there's like autonomous stuff happening, like you say, already in the cars, but even like there's a valet parking function that they have in some places where you get out the car, drives off and parks itself. You know, when you're ready to leave again, it comes and gets you. So in Stuttgart, that works, I know, at the museum. But
so it's starting to happen.
I think that's a great convenience, you know, like those sort of things where, like you say, that is a convenience. And I think, you know, obviously there are times where driving is stressful, and there are times where you do want to kind of just sort of, you know, relax a little bit and just take, you know, just kind of, I suppose it is, at the end of the day, people get fatigued when they're driving, so anything that can help with that, I am for. But I think it's just, I think you sort of hear about, I think one thing that I hear about is sometimes you hear about these sort of speed limit assistances and that sort of thing, and, you know, how you can cruise according to the speed limit. Great, and that's the safe thing to do, but, you know, to be honest, let's be honest about it, no one really religiously sticks to the speed limits. We all kind of sort of flirt our way under and over and that sort of thing. And, you know, I think there's that, it takes away that human element, do you know what I mean, if you're going to...
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. And that brings up so many questions then, about going back to safety, doesn't it? About does the car, you know, what does it do in certain situations regarding
like
safety? If people are in the road and there's someone coming towards you, and how does it kind of all work?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. I'd say it's always an interesting topic. I could sit and debate autonomous cars all day, but of course we don't have all day. But I guess last couple of points or questions. You both work for Mercedes-Benz, but of course you work for Brooklands. How do you find it working there as a brand, but also I guess as a site?
Brilliant.
A chance to big them up, hopefully.
It's probably the best site I've been to, obviously.
Yeah, it is special, isn't it?
It's not only Mercedes-Benz Brooklands, it's Mercedes-Benz World as well. So you've got the museum, you've got the track, you've got simulators, you've got a lot going on in the building. So if you have customers come in, they love looking around. We have customers who...
Do you think that helps, having all that there?
Massively.
Yeah.
Because obviously it never runs smoothly in the showroom. There's always going to be someone who's arrived late or like come early, and there's so much they can do in the meantime to being seen, or we can look after them, make sure they're well looked after.
Turned up an hour early for their service appointment that they need done this afternoon. We
Like,
know what the motor trade's like,
it
don't
does
we?
help though, but we do have lots of customers, especially for service, who come in and instead of asking for a car, they'll just look around the building for the day. They'll go have lunch in the cafe and they'll just go around the building, go on the simulators and come back down and pick their car up.
So they'll actually spend money.
Yeah,
Rather than want a freebie.
It's a brand
That's cool, isn't
sector,
it?
right?
Yeah.
So it is nice. We kind of take it for granted a little bit.
We do. I was about to say that.
We do take it for granted.
We if we go visit another site, it is a bit alien because we are so in a bubble. But it's fantastic. Like you say, the facilities that are there are absolutely amazing. You know, we've got so much space.
Driveway's nice.
Yeah, lovely driveway and private area. It's amazing. So we're very lucky. You've obviously got people there for driving experience, as you say, conferencing, hospitality, events. We do even do wedding receptions there, and it's just like people that are enthusiastic about the brand. There's so many reasons to come to Mercedes-Benz World. You know, whether it is for social or business, it works really, really well.
And it's free.
Yeah.
To get in.
Yeah.
We'll clip that, make it an advert, and you
Yeah,
can give it
That's it. So
send it over to them.
But to be fair, it's pretty amazing. And I still come down the driveway every single day, nearly 7 years later, and like, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Every day.
It does have that
Yeah, you-
feeling about it.
You have a
the
wow
history.
factor, which doesn't make any sense, which happens every single day,
Yeah.
but it does.
Definitely. No, so I totally agree with that. It's one of the things I love about doing the introduction day course that I run at Mercedes-Benz World sometimes, and people come down and like you see them arrive for the first time. They've flown from Aberdeen or from Belfast, or they've come all over to be here for their introduction day, and they do come in. They're like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So it is a very cool site. Awesome. Well, my last question for you both. You don't have to say Mercedes-Benz, but I was going to ask what your favourite car is. But it could be a Mercedes-Benz. I'm so cliche that mine is.
Yeah, mine too.
I'm going to play it safe.
Can you guess mine?
No, I think.
Oh, I bet yours will. Well, I know it'll be in yellow. Because you love yellow.
What colour yellow?
Solar beam.
Yeah, okay. There's only two.
Yeah.
Good guess. I'd have the GT63S.
Okay.
Or the G-Wag, obviously.
Coupe or four-door?
It's the four-door.
Four-door, yeah.
It's a lovely car. Yeah, it's hard to compete. I've always been a big G-Wagon fan. I think that's just an iconic car. At the moment, I've got to say, we've got a fantastic matte grey CLA 45 in the showroom. That is a beautiful car.
Fucking trying to sell me it then.
It is,
come on down, we've got a great matte.
I tell you what, it is amazing.
It does look nice.
It's amazing. Like for something that was, I suppose you would regard it as an entry-level AMG, really. You know, when you look at kind of the performance levels and that sort of, but the materials and the finish, the level, the amount of drive programs on there, it's so close, or it is a proper AMG. You know, they've cut no corners with this one. It is absolutely amazing. So that's exciting me at the moment.
I'm sold. I want one as well. I think it's no secret I'm a massive fan of AMG and Mercedes-Benz. So yeah, that's
no secret.
I don't disagree with either of those choices. Cool.
Yeah.
Glad to see we're all on brand. We'll keep our jobs then. All right. Well, cool. I don't want to take up any more of your time. So thank you both for coming across and having a chat with us today. And I hope at some point we'll probably see you again soon.
Yeah. Thanks.
Cool.
So, yeah, thank you
you
very much. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.